What's good, y'all? It's time for another video, and in this one we'll be going over how to properly use Eliza and how to in general clear 3, 19, 20 and 21 with a full epic and below team, obviously excluding Volker. So first let's start off with the two methods to take care of the right side. Method number 1 is going to be Eliza, and method number 2 is going to be Brienne. I'll be showing off both right now, and then we get into a 319 and a 321 team, as well as the expected gear requirements, with 320 basically being just slightly below gear rate 321 when it comes to gear requirements. And yeah, let's get straight into it.
Our research begins.
Alright, so let's start off with how to use Eliza. The situation right here is that Idris already has shot at this boss a bit, but what you can do is just place Eliza at around half the timer, maybe even a bit earlier. The important part is that you use Eliza to kill that last enemy, which then leads to her empowering her next shots. As you see, she's going to start shooting 3 bullets at the enemies. And the important part is that, arrows, the important part is that you have her A1, because the A1 is what truly enables this. So yeah, as you can see, she starts attacking them, then starts slowing down because her kill window has run out, and then she starts picking back up with the 3 shots. So that is basically how you make her work. You place her so that you can kill that earlier guy, and then Eliza can take care of everything for you. As you can see, it is pretty close, but I will show you the gear requirements right now. And let's have a look. So you're going to need to run into an Infernal Raw set, and stat wise what you're looking for is around 300% attack with like 200 attack speed, as well as around 100% crit damage. You could also go lower in attack, higher in crit damage, but it really depends on the level of your artifact. So on the level of artifact, this is obviously for 21, on the level of artifact we're running a Spirit Siphon at +1, you could have also been running a Spirit Siphon at +25, which obviously would then put down the gear requirements. And awakening wise, we do have the A5, so we have the 3 consecutive shots, some extra damage. This deployment thing doesn't apply for the first deployment, and killing enemies during the ultimate extends the ultimate's duration is also needed if your Eliza isn't strong enough. So Eliza needs at least an Infernal Raw set with similar stats, could be lower if you have a better artifact. Something that is also possible to run her with is going to be Idrit's Gaze. So depending on how many you have of those, you can definitely go way higher in crit. Alright, time for Brienne. So for Brienne, what you want to do is you want to use Idris to kill that enemy on the right side as soon as possible. And something you can also do, depending on the strength of your Idris, is place Brienne in a bit earlier, because Brienne can actually shoot that guy on the right side for like a couple seconds before he shoots her. And that is the main goal. You really want to kill that guy ASAP, so you can place your Brienne in, and then your Brienne needs to have the maxed out ultimate. That is pretty much a requirement, and any other awakenings and such do really help out. So yeah, that's basically the goal. And as you can see, Brienne is shooting the enemies. Brienne's ultimate gets ready, and we do place in Laurel and then trigger her ultimate for that extra 20% damage boost. And then as you can see, everything is basically dead. Even if everything wouldn't completely die, we always still have an Idris to help out. The same thing obviously goes for Eliza the same way. So the way you can solve this, for example, is right here by triggering your ultimate so that your power shots start actually taking out the enemies, and also making use of Elukas, because Elukas insta triggers his ultimate for an extra power shot, as well as applying the power for slow. So that is how you take care of the right side using Brienne. Alright, now for the gearing part, let's have a look at Brienne's gear. So the gear used in the video has around 280% attack, 200 attack speed, 100% crit rate, as well as 100% crit damage. Set wise, we're actually running a Night Terror set, and on the left side we're running a Calamity set. As you can see, attack percent crit rate, crit damage with attack percent crit rate, crit damage. Here we are missing crit damage as a stat, and these are basically perfect ancients. You can see the stats right here, and what really takes her over the edge, what really makes her truly hit the enemies hard, is going to be Idris Gaze. Always keep in mind, your Brienne doesn't have to one-shot the waves, she only really has to weaken them enough for your Idris to finish them off, but this is the gear used if you want to replicate what we did. Alright, yeah, here we go, 321, this is the team, you get the gearing at the end, and let's get straight into the stage. And for those curious in the middle of the run, why the hell am I not using Eliza? It's just a personal preference thing. I just like using Brienne more, but we could also use Eliza to completely take out the right side, as you've seen in the video. But at the end of the day, what truly makes Eliza so beautiful is the fact that we have a Pierce a lot bonus. So right here, we trigger Idril when Dolores is at 95%, so that we can trigger both ultimates at the same time. Let everything run through, and then bring in a holo. Alright, perfect, so far so good. Now right here what we're gonna do is we'll be triggering Holo's ultimate. And here we wait for the middle guy to actually die. Once the middle guy dies, we can use the power shot to start dealing with the right side guy faster, and then use Idrit's ultimate to help out. Now we do place in a Laurel, but we actually wait until the boss attacks Laurel. There we go. We're actually going to combine the two. No we're not. Yeah. Alright. So there we go. Idris starts attacking the boss. As you can see, not quite perfect. That means we gotta take out this minion with a power shot. Take out this minion with a power shot. Start attacking here. Bring in a Brienne. So Brienne even gets some slight extra rage. And then bring in a Volker before the boss even summons units. Just so that if the units do explode, they don't explode into units but into Volker. Right here we'll be saving ultimates, because we don't really need them. And we rather have the ultimates to support the right side and properly take care of the wave. Like for example right here, our Brienne got in a bit late, so we have a couple enemies to deal with, and the way we do that is by triggering Dolores to take out one guy, triggering Idril to take out the next, and then pretty much waiting for one guy to be left to then use Lucas to take him out, and then right here Idril should be able to do the rest. There we go. So from now on, we basically kind of repeat what we did before, or what we've done before, which means we wait for these guys to attack. And also we kind of need to change the timing a bit. I guess here we can actually use Eliza, just so we can weaken that guy already. So we summon in the enemies, we take out the first ones, use Mor's ultimate to take out a couple few. And what I'm referring to with the takeouts is obviously going to be Idrit's combo shot passive. So there you go, she did take care of them alone, which means right here we can bring in Brienne. Boss is dead. If the boss isn't dead, you could also use then Lucas to continue taking some fire. And here we can then activate Dolores. Use Mor's ultimate one more time. Use Lucas's ultimate. So it's not like there's like a 100% way you have to clear this, but there is a couple ways you can do it, and especially using Eliza as a support can work really well in certain scenarios, like for example just placing her in and keeping enemies low, or at the end we could have actually kept her in longer and she would have helped us out more than a Brienne. Like you can really see there's a couple ways you can shift this, a couple ways you can change this, but this is the general approach. and this is how you do it. Now let's get to the gearing part. So by far the most important character, but also with the strongest gear, has to be Idril. We're looking at an Infernal Roar set with crit damage, attack percent, crit rate, attack speed, crit damage, attack percent, crit rate, attack speed, and then down here attack, crit rate, attack speed. So not 3 perfect pieces, but at least 2. And the important part is we have really high crit damage. Right here we have attack percent, crit rate, crit damage with attack, doesn't need to be attack. And here a standard attack percent, crit rate with attack speed. If you can, preferably you want it to be attack percent, crit rate, crit damage. The goal with Idril is you want around 200% attack and then between 200 to 230% crit damage. The attack speed should be somewhere above 200. And this is the really crucial part. If you want this to work, you need an Idril's Gaze at 25 or Idril is not going to do anything at all. Then we have Liam. Liam is going to be high attack speed, so in this case 351, and then high rage regen at around 140%. You could also go with a bit more attack speed, bit less rage regen, and artifact doesn't matter. He also doesn't need to be 6 stars because he doesn't get hit, so you could keep him at 2 stars and he would work just as well. So yeah, just give him high attack speed, high rage regen. Set wise doesn't really matter, just whatever you have. We already briefly talked about Brienne's gear, but here you go again with the Idril's Gaze. Same goes for Eliza, once more with the artifact. Then we have Laurel. So the important part with Laurel is you want to give an invigoration set, just so you can potentially apply that one to Idril by placing her down. And skill wise you truly want that symbiotic power to be maxed if you want to take max advantage of Brienne. Volker is going to be in the strongest tanky you can find. The stronger your tanky, the less you're going to struggle, because you might, for example, have to activate Hollow's ultimate at a certain time to be able to keep her alive. So let's go to Hollow. Hollow actually is kinda similar to the way Liam is. It doesn't need to be an invigoration set, could be any set, high attack speed, high rage regen. And if you really want to make it spicy, you can give her this rage regen artifact too, but as you can see we didn't even use one. Ilukas is cool. Ilukas doesn't need any gear. The only important part is that your skills are maxed out, preferably the ultimate. Maul, so for Maul we're going to have another Night Terror set. Stat wise it's really whatever, it's 300% attack, 88% crit rate, 150 crit damage, some extra rage regen, and artifact wise the Sharpshooter's Crest at 10. You could step it up, you could replace him with the legendary. It is really not that hard. And then we have our Dolores, which comes close to 10,000 extra attack, 40% rage regen. That's really all that matters. No set effect and a golden scarab, but the golden scarab could also be a keen wisdom. So yeah, this is how you clear 321. And let's make a minimum 319 requirements. Alright, so here we are at 319, and as you can see we're having 2 free slots because we truly don't need any more units. You could put someone else in if you wanted to somehow make it easier or whatever else, but we truly don't need any more, so that's why we go in like this. And yeah, if you don't have a Maul, you could use a legendary AoE or AoE marksman to take care of the left side, or you could be using Drogo right here, this rare. Drogo can actually take care of the left side by himself. And yeah, especially if for whatever reason you do not have an Eliza, just use the Brienne tactic shown earlier, or you could also use Maul on the right side to take care of these units. It truly doesn't really make a difference. Alright, so straight into the stage we go. 319, we started off the same as before with the Idril into Dolores. And then a Liam. Obviously if you have an Elowind, you can use Elowind instead of Hollow. And even if you don't have a Hollow, I would recommend just using someone like a Nisande, and then at least having a Laurel, because it just makes everything way smoother if you do. So right here what we're actually gonna do is bring in Hollow. once more, the perfect sign that you're at least ready would be that you can take out the first part right there with just one single Idril ultimate. That's kind of like where you really want to be at. And you see her stats really aren't all that crazy at the end of the day. And here the important part is, if you want to play 19 without a Laurel, I highly recommend you building your Liam to the point where he survives this explosion right here. So let's have a look. 12,000. So you need him above 12,600 HP. That's the only thing you really need. So here we can activate Maul's ultimate, and this is the point where we bring in Eliza. Could have probably been a bit earlier. Let's hope she gets the kill. She didn't. So this is kind of something you really need to make sure of. So let's get back to the same part and make sure Eliza gets the kill. Alright, so this time we are probably not even going to trigger Idril's ultimate, because the risk would be too high of Idril shooting over to the left. So we'll actually let her completely solo this. So we wait for the timer to reach around half, bring her in, and then let her have a go at it. So as you can see, she's dealing around 40,000 per hit, and shortly before the timer actually moves out, she's able to do her job, which means now we can also trigger Idril's ultimate. And you see her power shots are pretty much going very, very well. She is swapping targets at least a bit too much for my own liking. But there you go, that is one down, another attack, another down, another attack, last guy down, and then you can pull her out again. So yeah, she does a very, very solid job. And you see at the end her gear really isn't all that great. Yeah, it really all has to do with making sure that you get that passive for killing the enemy. If you just try to place her in like you normally would place someone in, she's not really going to do anything at all, really. Now the cool part here is, because the enemy is safe before it starts moving anyway, Idril can't even attack it. So that is why we can now bring her in. You'll also see there's a slight damage increase to her, and that is because we placed her down. And depending on how fast your team is, obviously Idril might not actually steal the kill shot there. So yeah, let's see if we can get Idril's ult ready. Probably not. This is, I guess, the unfortunate part. So just make sure that you don't trigger your Idril ultimate. And you're gonna succeed, right? If you truly want Eliza to work, make sure that you use and trigger her passive. Let's once more have a look at what I'm talking about. And honestly, this stage was basically cleared, or you just introduce a Laurel into that stage to boost your Idril's rage, and it is a game over. So how about we just have a direct look, because why not? So Eliza right here, skills. The skill I'm referring to is obviously Relentless Strike. Killing enemies turns basic attack into 2 consecutive strikes, and preferably you want it to be the 3 with the A1. So gear wise, what are we looking at? Ignore that left side gear, it truly isn't all that important. The most important part is stats. So you really want to go for around 300% attack, around 100% crit rate, and that's all. You don't even need any crit damage. The only reason why I have this is because this is one of like the worst pieces of gear I really have combined. So you don't even need to be at 100% crit rate, just get anywhere close there. And artifact wise, we're using a Spirit Siphon. It could be any other marksman artifact really, because keep in mind you always have an Idril to help out on the right side. So this is the stats that you're going to need for 19. Which leaves us with the Idril. Idril again, 200% attack, bit of attack speed, 70% crit rate, and then preferably some crit damage in the form of 2 times crit damage main stat, just to take advantage of Dolores. Same goes for Liam. Liam pretty much just has worse gear overall. As you can see, he has some attack speed, on the chest piece, some attack speed on the weapon. You could also just run a whirlwind set right here with a whirlwind weapon. Just make sure that you get some attack speed. Here we have rage regen and attack speed as a sub, rage regen as attack speed and as a sub, and here rage regen as a main with attack speed as a sub. Artifact wise, once more, doesn't make a difference. Then we have Maul. Maul is pretty good at doing his job, so what you need is like 250 attack, closer to 100% crit rate, and that's honestly about it. Artifact wise, Sharpshooter's Crest if you want to, could also give him anything else really. Maul is pretty good at his job, and the Dolores stats you're looking for are like plus 6,000 to plus 8,000 attack, and preferably 40% rage regen. As you see, we just snagged a piece from her. And Volker doesn't even really die. She can't really die, not in that stage. And also her gear could be way lower. So yeah, this concludes this video. I hope you've learned something in regards to how to properly use Eliza and that she isn't as bad as everyone thinks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and we see each other in the next one. Peace!